All right, you ready to get a haircut? This is how we do it. I am all washed. All right, so this is the mop with no hair product. No one ever sees it except for you now. And Laura sees my hair with no hair product. I have grays now. Laura, how long have you been doing my hair for?
It's probably been about 15 years.
Not only does Laura do my hair for 15 years, she's been a patient at our office since 2010, right?
I think so, yeah.
It's a long time, Laura. We often think about what precipitates like long-term relationships in any sense, right? So the question begs, why have I consistently and loyally come to Laura for the last 15 years when there are obviously other games in town? It's a good question. I feel so vulnerable. God, with the close-ups. All right, so Laura just nicely said how hard my hair is to cut.
It's extremely straight, thick, so it grows straight out from your head instead of down. So blending things and all that is a challenge because kind of a nightmare. It grows out in 2 seconds.
It's a nightmare. I hear that. No. I hear that from every corner of my life. At home, at work, now here. So back to what I was talking about. For example, this would be a 15-year client-stylist relationship, right? And many of you that are watching right now are probably figuring out, like, in your own businesses and services, like, how do you establish that same type of longevity? And I'll tell you what that actually is. And it definitely has to do with me and Laura as well, is authenticity. Now, before you shut this off because of cliche, I do want to say that authenticity is the new currency. It's funny, when I come and we talk, she's incredibly authentic. There is no like lollipops and unicorns. We bitch about stuff, right, Laura?
Yes.
Right? We complain about stuff. We talk about all the bull in the world. And that's what I think bonds society. I don't care if it's service provider and client or people in your family or what have you. And that's what the marketplace really wants right now, as opposed to a contrived like lollipops and unicorns, because people can see that type of fakeness from a mile away. And that's partly, if not all, the reason that this happens. I mean, Laura does a great job with my hair. I mean, that's a fundamental. I expect that, right? So a lot of your clients are coming expecting that you're a professional in what you do, right? So you don't get credit for doing your job well, is what I'm saying, right? It's a given. It's an expectation. On top of that, the marketplace now is expecting a way, way more. And all we're looking for is sheer authenticity. Like the sheer. Yeah, you like that one? So that's really what right now is about, because many of you out there are probably like, who do I have to be? Or like, what do I have to say? Or like, how do I get someone to like me? And here's another thing. This is a great example here. Is like, Laura, for example, knows how to say no. Okay? She knows how to say no.
It's taken a while to learn that in a lot of years of my career.
No doubt, right? No doubt.
I have gotten much better, and that makes a difference because I don't take people's crap in my chair anymore.
You hear that?
I don't take like disrespect from anyone or try to feel guilty for not going above and beyond or anything like that. And it's definitely hard at first, but you know what? Like, you have to.
Does that sound familiar? Even for me, 15 years, I call her last minute. Can you get me in? She's like, no. And I respect that, right? It doesn't make her less likable. It doesn't make me not want to come to her. It just tells me that's her boundaries, and I respect that. Don't take shit, right? And more importantly, having boundaries does not make you less likable. And remember, the idea here in the service provider industry across all verticals, okay? I don't care if you're... Across all verticals is that the idea here is to be respected, not necessarily to be liked. And that's a huge distinction, you know? So that is what we are trying to establish here. Because, you know, it's not sustainable, right, Laura? I mean,
you can't continue to do that and trample your own boundaries and let people... No, you can't.
So I ask all of you out there, as a consumer, what do you like? What makes you want to go to a provider for long term where you're completely happy, there's trust, there's rapport, etc.? And if you're a provider, what are the things that totally not make you want to go into the office or go to work? I'll tell you that right now. It's this stuff right here, and it's not sustainable. You will not have a long career if that is your jam, and you're going to have to figure out a way to create those boundaries, and again, have authenticity in the interaction without fear of persecution or fear of that someone who doesn't like you or you're going to lose business. It's just most of those.
Problem.
total them problem, and the fear is completely it's imagination in your head.
I even have to actually cut his hair uneven to make it grow evenly. So I have to cut the sides way shorter because the shape of his head, they will just stick out and look uneven if I don't.
What's wrong with the shape of my head?
Nothing. I'm just saying that your hair is so straight that I have to make it the illusion that it's all the same length.
That's right. That's right. Well, what happens is, like you said, that my hair sticks out of my skull perpendicularly,
Yes.
right?
You
so,
have to, yeah.
so the sides just go straight out.
Yeah.
And that's always been like a challenge. So, look, a percentage-wise, Laura, with your clients, do you think like the talking, like your clients, like what percentage of the time are they talking to you versus you talk to them?
I think that really depends on the person. I definitely have people that can sit and talk the whole time and I don't really have to say anything and just be like, and not gonna lie, sometimes you zone out when that happens and your brain goes other places.
Right.
Some people will just carry the conversation the whole time, whatever. There's other people that like to just come and kind of chill and either close their eyes or sit on their phone, which I also really love sometimes. I don't mind talking to them, but also it's nice because sometimes when I'm foiling or doing other services, I just get in the zone and I don't mind the quiet. So I think it's kind of more about like just being able to read people and like kind of judge how much they want to talk, because some people are just quieter too. And you don't want to make them uncomfortable. Some people hate having to talk to someone getting their hair done.
If you heard what she just said, get a read and a feel. And by the way, that is a lesson in perception or perspective, sorry. Like, what is the perspective of the client you're serving? What do they want? What are they more comfortable with? Because you realize she doesn't approach this with an agenda of, I'm gonna tell Sally all about my trip to Florida, which I know many of you are watching are guilty of that, where your clients, the people you're serving, become an outlet for you to share everything and anything about you. By the way, no one gives a. What they do care about is them.
That being said, I also have longtime clients that I can have the deepest, darkest conversations with, and I also absolutely love that because that's the kind of person I am. You have to also know and learn over time, like who you can do that with.
Well, in real life, I'm actually also an introvert, and for the introverts out there, I'm saying this because just because you're an introvert doesn't mean you're not good with people. It's not really what it means. If that's your authentic you, that's your authentic you. People will respect it or they won't. So when you are in the situations with like problem clients, like what's your approach there for, like what's your biggest demographic of problem client?
Say it's all over the place. People will try to make you feel guilty.
People make you feel guilty about not getting what they want?
Either like not getting in when they want to, or
Right.
just like, well, I don't have time then. And they'll be like, well, and you're like, people will definitely push those, and also definitely learning that it is a them problem, because there are people that you could literally give them the exact color, the exact as that picture, identical, and they would never be happy. If you're setting them up for those lower expectations, then they're not going to be disappointed.
So expectation management.
Yes,
Got it.
100%.
So all of you out there, what are your problem clients? Think about that. And I think the theme here is the fact that it's a them problem, not a you problem. However, I think there's some fundamentals here, right, Laura? So for those of you who don't know, I'm on the perpetual, it's even on my bio, perpetual search for the perfect hair care product. And right now, what are we using?
You're a product junkie.
Usually I go wet and gel. And what I realized, Laura, I think you helped me realize it too, is like it weighs down my hair.
Yeah.
So it just has no like volume.
You like volume.
I like volume,
Yes,
yeah. But I'm so thick, right?
Yes.
It's like, so it's gonna weigh it down.
Hold, but
Hold,
you
right.
like the volume.
Exactly.
It needs to be controlled volume.
Correct.
Not just
Control-
wild.
Exactly.
Not
Control-
just wild.
Not like
mushroom volume.
out of bed volume. I am a professional, Corey.
So I must watch a lot of murder movies. Every time I do this, I never told you this, but I always have this like fear of getting my throat slit, because this is exactly the position that you would need someone to do it.
You wouldn't even see me coming. You got your eyes closed.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, totally vulnerable.
That's funny. First, we're just messy dry.
But every time I complain about my hair, I always stop myself. I'm like, at least I have hair.
100%.
Because I have
Yeah.
a lot of friends
yeah.
that do not have hair. Ready for the
Sure.
routine?
Powder.
Okay, so this is
Hair tutorial.
sexy hair powder play stuff. Although I have a different brand at home.
I think
Maybe
you
I'll
have,
just bring a
like,
bottle of my
Gorilla
stuff.
Something.
No, it's an Instagram thing. All right, so the routine now. I always should schedule before I go.
Yes.
so bad with my calendar.
I still use a paper book because that's how my brain
Nothing
works.
wrong with that. Old school
So-
works. All right, so that's it for us. Like, comment, subscribe, share for more. Laura, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Laura
Yes, I
at
have no
Arla
clue.
J, in case you guys are local. She's your person, but you'll probably put on a wait list because she's pretty damn poked. And if she says no, don't get mad. Don't dislike her, just respect her. And that's what
Exactly.
the premium service providers,
Just wait a couple weeks.
that's
and
it. A couple of weeks. That's all we do.
Sometimes, yes. Depends on the week.